I don't. So in this video, I'm going to answer exactly one question. What is high leverage crafting exactly? And afterwards, you can check out my series where I answer the rest of these questions and more to the best of my ability. I think the most succinct way to explain it is with an example. I use a database to search for underserved niches for products people want and they can't get. I found a listing here for a costume crown that customers, they showed they wanted with a huge number of likes compared to the number of sales that it had, and it turns out he was offering a digital download and they wanted the physical product. So I purchased a 3D model from another artist. I mean, I could have designed it myself, but for $10, that's going to save me a lot of time right there. I modified it for my needs, and then I started selling the physical product, and I sold the first one in 3 days. The customers love it, and it cost me very little time and money to produce, so it's a win-win. That's a specific example, but how exactly does the whole process look? It's not as easy as just making random things and listing them online. I think the primary challenge that every crafter faces is that you can be extremely talented and it's still difficult to convert your effort into profit. So I resolve this with a process I call high leverage crafting. And here's the main ideas in order. So 1, I start with market research to find opportunities for products that I can make that people actually want. 2, I use my experience and a few free tools that I've made and found to maximize the effectiveness of my sales listing. And 3, I use ideas from manufacturing engineering to ensure that I can produce a high quality product at a minimal cost to me. Okay, so why did I use a database to find product ideas and not just search directly on Etsy and just look around for ideas? Well, this chart crime is an attempt to explain it. I quantified the opportunity value of every listing that Etsy showed me through organic search. For that term at the top there's 1,900 listings and their relative value graphed. The result is all over the place. So if I search for ideas that way, just looking, it's going to be impossible to separate good ones from bad ones just looking at them. I won't recognize them. So the tool I made solves this. It's a database of only ideas with a data-supported indication that it has potential in some way. I can use filters to quickly search for inspiration from winners. So there's a few other tools online that try to do this, but mostly they're just showing you a bunch of noise too. My tool is the only one that allows you to search for those highlighted opportunity types. So with this method, I can find inspiration that's going to be much more effective than getting ideas in the shower or searching directly on Etsy. I'd scroll right past a listing like this because it's not to my taste. But if your goal is to make money, then you need to see stuff like that. In this step, we use data to pick out an idea we want to make. And then in this step, I plan out the process itself for making the product. I use digital fabrication wherever I can to supplement my own ability to hand make things. When the process is done thoughtfully with reliable equipment, I can minimize the inventory I have to hold and the human effort required to process products. And finally, I designed my workshop to enable me to efficiently produce my products while minimizing the time I spend wasting motion, looking for tools, taking inventory, and physically processing goods. So if machines are doing so much of the work, then how is this still handcrafting? I think high leverage crafting exists in the gray zone between hobby crafting and mass manufacturing. Because I touch every piece of this puzzle myself, I can ensure that the final product is still made with love. It's just done in a factory-like setting. Here's a few examples of big winners doing this. You can't buy any of this stuff at Walmart. It's handmade efficiently, often made to order. So to be clear, hobby crafting is something that, frankly, grandmas and people who don't plan well do. The people on the left side are essentially working for slave wages if they're trying to sell those things. But applying the same skill sets in the right way has the potential to yield outsized returns. And notice both of these examples are in the textiles and SVG files. They're both considered flooded markets. But in my opinion, no niche is ever too crowded for fresh thinking. All right, 2 more. I'm not proposing taking shortcuts like copy-pasting things to target people who aren't good at Googling. It doesn't work very well. To do this successfully, you have to add value to every product you sell. And there's a lot of ways you can do it. Again, textiles and SVG markets, but you should see their niche popularity as a sign of a healthy market. No matter what your niche is, there's a lot of opportunities to be found once you know how to look. So how well does this work? Okay, I didn't get here instantly. It took a few years to figure this out and get established, and it's still work to maintain. But working smart with the little free time that I have has paid back enormously. It sounds outrageous, but in 2022, in aggregate, I made roughly $88 an hour in profit before taxes. So with a lot of that time being skewed toward the holiday season and me working in the wee hours, getting tired the next day, but it was totally worth it. So this works because of cost controls. Once your equipment is paid for, once your workshop and storefront is set up, the marginal cost in dollars and hours of making one additional product is extremely low. So that's my spiel. If you want to know more about me, you can read more about projects I've done in a written long form on my hobby blog. If you want to know more details about my specific story of high leverage crafting, you can check out video number 1 from the course and my video explaining the product database in more detail. They're both on YouTube. And that's it. I hope this idea excites you as much as it does me, and I want to produce a lot of value for handmade entrepreneurs, so definitely ask me questions and comments and give me some feedback so I can work smarter going forward. Thank you for watching.